Currently the sitting member of parliament for the Secondary constituency. Unfortunately, he lost the parliamentary election in Secondary, and he will not be returning to parliament in the 9th parliament. Lawyer Andrew Ejapa Mesa and Yetenen Kano. Doc and a lawyer. Secondary constituency interesting for so many reasons. At least we need in Komwe and start union seminar ebe doc. He made the admission say it might have influenced how Uncle Phoebe etoaba because of the timing of the statue. He disagrees say Obika say what's say he thinks he needs to be honored by timing.
Yeah, I think it's good he admitted that of course and some of us the nature of what we do.
Yeah.
And Mra say shuni ba out no. Yeah, so the two form Ninkrofer no Makasa pointed out to that effect. I think essentially the more say it was a group of people who wanted to do it to honor him.
Yeah.
So my question was as to whether they had this discussion with the party, at the region.
Yeah.
And I said with national. Obi mame mao enyina so kakra in 2016. I think 2016 election, which I think was very prominent. And it brings to mind formal and informal political communication, of which Status Union is one of them.
Yeah.
Now, the party's own structure, no, Obekwa Kwesi billboard. So,
yeah.
But party financier, being there, so this can be a party, no, any campaign management team, no billboard, no. Now, ebia, the friends say advertisers advising and say, put this message here, A, B, C, D. With that proper research to do, it's a message will be in effect. Okay, remember me advert, no.
Remember me, yes. 2020.
Exactly. Who said a play against N4.
Yeah. Depending on who is using it.
Exactly. And the content.
Yeah.
It is at a point in time, then whoever was doing that, say NDC the bar. Now Ubu say MPP. So you see the same message in a different context. So,
yeah, it's true.
And at that point in time, we say it affected me. Your question, you said the party itself didn't know.
They didn't know about it.
The same applies
to Matisse, who's Ashanti region, now NDC were 4 seats that.
Yeah.
NSCC are from reporter Eba, no more winning by 3 account, Marco 7. 3 no more winning account, but Adanse Asokwa constituency. MP Honorable K.T. Hammond, Kobna Tahir Hammond, Esquire, or a senior lawyer. Councillor Kwaba, net saying?
Obi, Adom.
Now, Bibia Boko there.
Oh, yeah, compared to the cost of Kiki, Omoya, in the Adom. In the down by the name, now Moyan to be now, because you know, catch us a Yanche, Bonewaha. Movies are more winning election, I walk away and jubilate. Jubilation doesn't mean throwing fence and hooting and a persuade so. You want the choir, no, now, so you're putting a place for Swaha, BBS, you feel. Yeah, Matiana says, CDC, one and training idea wouldn't feel in I almost the Omobagi. And almost a drip machine, those are the advance, so no, almost the Adom to the touch around better. Another matter, but so far, no, you know who be one.
Omoba fear some come over found train. I didn't know. DC in the field.
DC, no, Omoyan Quay, Omaton and Crack.
I'm watching a castle on Beba.
I bind their plate or I bind their drum baggy.
And DC has why I say.
Oh, my battery, ought to be jam.
No, but Honorable, really, on the results, no, a BBA who expected say ABC.
I feel a more so be a crack out of custom. That be a 12 I get you about that. Just go, that's just more down, my sister, more than a consort. So, and this is the candidates are Baha. Where the if I'm working on Trotro or the say I'm different. But again, we are now saying I'm saying no one answering and one. Obia, just say, I do I bought her. And near my eye and had now if you want to move about to get to be able to be anyhow. Jimmy, for the first time, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Or be a bit, maybe I don't blame myself. Maybe I was say, can't go crazy from Nantico. But be a memorandum, bring Granam and Cohor, and never go grab boom, grab and Nantim and the Cohor, and make it was a cover be never comfortable. I've heard that I didn't need a 12, but now, over going now. What do you mean, Zamonto? Yeah, Pesca. The Sikaben, I'm a funny idea. Shamo Astrotep, Shamo Wine, Shamo School, Shamuncio, Shamoka, Quine, Yabamu, Sukran, said, baby. Yeah, Kaka, not too so more. You know, the nuclear would say, yeah, 2 years, you are, you look at what you do. A horror on one to Abado. I want to maybe. May one and this what about over BTV comprehensively and fairly. Yeah, get it a BTV Zano and guarantee a name. 2020, Omunya by 13,000. The 18,000 to 19,000. And you know, you expect there's over BTV. Yeah, numbers, no. I make Kaho no almost the annual 19 number. Yeah, what was I mean to put it in almost 13? Almost 13, 14, what yeah, 18,000, 19,000. Now, you could also make a honor. Yeah, numbers no, 13,000. And you want to about. I want. Wow. I want. Makuma, near money every year. How can you do that? They call round, no more getting a honor. Hey, someone to about now, and this woman, Namaka, number 2. Almost 2 years, and 2 Academia, almost to be only be winning. More person, and this for faculties in the Fakana. Because I went to almost all my polling stations. Every other part made near me for Kayabano baby, when enough 1 or 2 places on the 2 almost 2 years, others no, and getting, and then this near the 13 in the MPP, Ghana, and the Musho Maboro. Matisi, animal babies, and yeah, one ABTA, by yeah, and for this IPP, for this as about the end into Omufa. Into Asma order.
It is here.
The American woman there and conclude yet. Yeah, they are the buyer now. Say, me, baby, I say, young kind baby, I wasn't there.
Okay.
But the other thing is to buy in the moon yet, and then somehow send a ballot boxes, look at me and so said, 9 almost go. And you know, I've been asking for recount. Me call up a say, me here recount or collation center. I've written formally. Actually, not I've written. I wrote formally. But the mama, you know, you commissioner or Okuta or kind, I law. No, I mean, that is to worry. And it's where people, yes, and that's what it's for the end. The car, or say, the overrunning is master, or I was say, pink sheet, you know, how do I want to play. Now, the pink sheet, the boxes, maybe I am complaining, say, law, no, I paragraph, you know, 43, no, of the act, no, I will say, the candidates are now, be our right, say, we declare except where, and a specific word, or we declare except where the candidate, no, was asking for a recount. Or said there will be no recount. Is that what they are working? Working card now. Yeah. There will be no recounting was certain unless also a candidate, you know, why you are specifically say so I request it. My request is verbally, my request is my writing. Then I don't have been ignored. No more declares Eddie and I shot by we have reported you have lost by 700 or so difference.
But honorable recount now call it for no. Was it for a specific ballot box? And I said the entire.
I called for the entire, but one you never try specific. Let me I want to make more clothing in the you guys are entirely, you know, each one is specific. But I actually took the precaution to mention the specific polling stations. Or may request anymore.
And you even mentioned the specific polling station still.
Yeah, still almost there. You know, I say Papa say so on the can say you no can you. Yeah, I'm preparing to go to court. Obit me comprehensively and maybe not comprehensively, wrong word. Fairly. Comprehensively, they can't beat me or comprehensively. Some people say you can't. Your number, Adam said, I'm not turning as according to MPP. The NDC cannot win. It's a majority. Woman to me, except say any answer yet. The clans are about 2 years, and I mean, who numbers instead of working. Obi one white pink sheet that.
Dabio.
Prime pink sheet will be white.
Hey. No, Omunya free.
I believe, and some man who want to make can say, you may challenge in any way.
Say, you know, call for an let you down, Anna.
Well, but Obi said, now, what would the man let us be a no move? I'm going to get a shadow, yeah, it's your woman who has another.
Yes.
Remember, and the law no anticipated this.
Okay.
We are not good agents, no more.
Okay, lawyer, Honorable, me pato, homeso 1 minute, mame. May call Regional Coalition Center will and cry. I'm messing about so this year. In the young call Accra Regional Coalition Center.
All right.
Central constituency. Patrick Yabuama had 14,949. Abu Baba Abdullah Sadiq had 15,383. Total valid votes is 332. Rejected ballot is 130. Total vote cast 30,462. So from this election,
represents 78%. 110.
This represents 110. This represents 78% of the election held at Okaikwei Central. So from this result, Baba Sadiq has been elected Member of Parliament for Okaikwei Central.
Sure.
Thank you.
2024.
And so you have it, the declaration has been done by AC has declared candidate elect.
First of all,
please allow me, gentlemen. Baba,
no, you go lift it, you go lift it. Charlie, you talk too much. Wait.
It's not yet.
Central. I declare Baba Sadiq as the MP elect for
Well, it means a whole lot. I mean, from the beginning, we were the less fancied candidates. We were told that, in fact, the most credible poster in Ghana today is Musa Dankwa. Musa Dankwa had put out a research earlier in the year where he had said that Okaikwei Central was the safest MPP seat in Greater Accra, and Patrick Guama was going to go nowhere. And I remember telling a lot of people about Musa Dankwa doesn't know me well. Perhaps if he has taken time to understand the mindset of Baba Sadiq and how I win, maybe he won't stick his neck out in the ways he did for Patrick. But I mean, research is research. We took that in good faith. And in actual fact, Musa will probably tell you that I had to try to engage in a lot, try to understand what are the insights, where were we failing, what are the issues. We went to it, and we realized that research is research, but the most important and relevant is the polls, which happens on elections day. That has stuck with us. And one thing that stuck with me is, look, on that week when Mr. Nako was doing his interviews, the regional chairman called me, Ashimo. He told me his story in 2012 when Ben Efson had sticked his neck out and said that he was going to retire if he wins the Adenta seat then, And then he told me what he did afterwards, how he gathered the strength internally and managed to win that particular seat. And that story has stuck with me as well. I think, and I've always maintained, but for what Patrick Guama was trying to do now, which is very shameful, I've always maintained that I don't think he's a bad person. You know, I've always maintained I don't think he's not done his best for the constituency, but I think that this is the point where the constituency itself is looking for a more younger, dynamic, innovative, bold, and visionary man to come and continue and elevate the development conversation in the constituency. Our message of transformation, our message to create sustainable livelihoods for the constituency, and particularly young people, jobs for young people in the constituency, really touched the heart of the constituency. And we never slept. Morning, afternoon, evening, we were campaigning. When he was sharing money and sharing goodies, we were campaigning. You know, in the last few days, we had heard the report where he had told others, confided in others, that he was going to engage in fraudulent activities in the elections. We took it in good faith. And then we put in work. I mean, from the able-bodied men and women of our constituency, the elections directorates, some of the executives,
and we Greater Accra Regional Coalition Center of the Electoral Commission, and the first to be declared out of the three now outstanding, Okaikwei Central. The argument of the NDC is Emranika say polling stations results no eba na omonsa timika 75% and above ECB go ahead and declare. Because the argument then is another 31 polling stations results Emma Medui. The na abano be 78% of the total polling stations. Inti eno no makika bom ena EC agina 78% polling station result and insa kaneso declare. We would pick reactions from the other side when we do get reactions. The Basisi Amamin call back to Honorable Katie Amond. Na menino enye. Honorable, in your case, Nensono, Obeko Court, right?
Yes, my court. Yeah.
But
the recount by law is there. So we complain here. My recount. Now I'm going to recount.
But no said the American, and it's interesting because you make the point say now which the specific polling stations are. Oh yeah,
police commander but let's put it right. Type of credit, type of them cost quickly, but the fan of the now fair striking said that the West Pacific and one green year and we bomb crew a police station boy war in now and the Mao. I'm gonna make catch a king then this one had to when we chat him war and it's whatever good them war my the pinching oh baby it's also quite the boss war I say so also almost say so I'm kind of one comedy and I'm a catcher. Someone we can be part of a coalition that may challenge it. I can be part. So when pen to Kwawa and say, I'll take my people away. And I step away. It is more kind of honor. You go for one side certificate. No money home.
It's not just a declaration was done at the regional office.
No, her declaration was done
Okay.
So what I may call a protest in a written note, say per recount. Yeah, or also arranging Kumasi, the Kumasi officer now. I don't know why the return officer in Adom TV should be talking to the Omo regional officer about a small matter like that. But also on the Kasa, or say so more things to what they should declare. But I'm saying that, but you don't understand. Pink sheet to say there is no pink sheet matter. And I'm complaining that pink sheets nanga they being pink. I feel there are no ballot boxes. Something nothing change. They say specific law which they said may want the right of a challenge. And the right of challenge, lead to recount in specific areas. I indicated which areas I'm asking for, who decided to move a brush in the side I won't be part. So what do you say?
Yes. Okay, Tina maybe Kasana maybe CI 127, the specific regulation, no? So regulation 43.
93, no. My son has simple.
Regulation 43. 43 sub regulation 1A. Into 1A ne kase say a coalition center where the returning officer would assemble the results from the polling stations without recounting the ballot in the ballot boxes.
No, without. Without.
Yes, without, yes. Or say, without recounting the ballot in the ballot boxes, except where there is a challenge by a candidate or a counting agent in respect of a specific ballot box.
That's right.
And it was a challenge, on the ballot boxes that still went you.
Now, a count, a specific ballot box, just say one ballot box, specific ballot box, where you one. 95 polling stations could be specific ballot boxes.
Yeah.
1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. Mature ni na wa di anymore. I was there. Na law no. Ya church on keke. So what man say?
Yes. Yes.
And you declare results like that, and have it. I don't go for say. Yeah. And you have done your bad because whatever they can hear that. The pass MPP to meet Nagana has said. One bet me my MPP abregu breche. I go for do. I go why ya pa Wagana ha. My yima say any the phone on the eka. It's a difference. A yeah party for say ya conspire yan twaba. We were expecting a percentage 80% from our salary. The figures are more. Say 2008 go for tap. Say I mean the one my second round. Vote the club baby to go second go be a third round. This time chance and the they simply will not vote. My scar. Ya need the kura maybe a year go. And yet, yanto. Motor market them on another motor, Mamma, may ya name a PCC, yeah, click, again, I'll got them to the DC now, so I see. Say, I mean, I don't know almost okay, because you have the intent to call her. Young, my catcher said, that no one call you float. Well, I say, over the exam, great, but then she had a tea, I'm a car, but hey, one time, before about the KT, I want to join the NDC work. Me say, almost catch them say, I shake, member with mommy, but me fear the use of kapum, the body trap be very young. And the comma end is one more come home, move and you, move and you say, almost did say, it's going to be glad I have to put me out of Sakopata, some Sako is can be the man. Yeah, you need to call her. Into no, I don't know, I had the end to quit me. I now in Jaha. But if you are Ghana, this is what Ghana MPP. And Canada. As a moody, I will go for the Mudina bro. I will be a good one. Why did you go? I will be a Mudina bro. I will be a Ghana over show. And this is what my common papa no winning. Why we near fine and your body. But you stay at home, say yan twabano. In my case, close to 8,000. Say yan. Abba. Obi, and you
Honorable, Unim say the history of parliamentary election petitions, mostly Ebeko High Court, they sometimes 4 years for the entire tenure of the parliament. Krana Yenkanyi.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've started, why, about it,
I have also West on the
Why, I know the meaning is that's will be quick. Ever court will be quick.
But in the rates now, be issue, obe add an interlocutory injunction application
to restrain the gazetting of the results to let the guy go to parliament. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, okay, straightforward. Something need that.
Yeah, based on the way your friend say CI 127. Yes.
And you won't say that the American getting out of funny enough. And this what you're going to can almost transfer almost at paragraph 39, say polling stations, they have to count again, You haven't read the document, not to what say. And about walking cafe, which is about because we have a penny movie in or Canada, a lawyer for they already yesterday in the PA. I know Omar Canada, yeah, but I was telling them that there's that law, you haven't looked at it. Specifically, look at what he said. Or say, you can't do a recount. And then there's a substance, except where the candidates are challenged. And that's what I've done. I will, when I was opening my head, can you override the law like that? And you're carrying us near Ultima, my Lusua. And before I don't want to use the word my Lusu, because I mean, Lusu, NPP was almost to my head, in spite of Then Ghana has a NBC, MPP was the Yugoslavia. The Ghana, no, if I'm doing cry, my advocate is for the next so many years, you decide to say MPP and for about Ghana, you. Now, NBC, now people for the Anthony Kruma, Nayan. Also, 1 year, I mean, who is all right. I might open almost over about almost about 2 years. 2 years open. The air personal, at personal, you will review. How can they be wicked like that? I'll tell you anything. That day, MPP, I day. And yet, before time, it happened.
No, but Honorable Okase, or my wicked, don't you think you are gaslighting them? Because I'm reality, then you're reality. And if you say, Omo MPP frontier or so Mokotuaba, baby, Omo said your man, Koy said you won't.
OBA, let's say, Sankamon to my NDC, what to NDC, then we understand. But we are not voting for NDC. And you also voting for MPP.
Yeah, by a choice, a protest.
What difficulty we are seeing now, but Yanka party at the party, I come down. That's a work way as other. I couldn't say, yeah, to Momska and Sana Makoto. I said the same. One of what's car or day my way. A man who don't hear any idea, and fine, the way. Are you telling me, can ye, Akoya, and she, can I say, and so going before one I hear you? I will be close to the because I buy, but going this war and Obi slow, and I hear away. Why fault? And you know, it's one more relatives than a day. So, walk, Marcia, Sabia, who sound Guano. And Crafor, I can understand or more, almost say, I am say, I say, haircut, and I'm going to say, okay. Yes. I can understand. Okay. Yeah, one more exception. Now, one thing I want to my NDC. And I'm a member NDC in the party. Engineer ultimate to my design. But in Yamiadom, may ever trouble, oh my, ever creative canoe. I am a clear, you say, I am of my and Rapampi, I educate we say that. Wouldn't say on our own one going to do that. But Scanos no, NDC, a year very well back way, I am oh my, you will say. Oh, I said the fire and can crack. I think I have a woman to make kind of home for a crack. Okay, I will hope who's that. The man, this is a 1 year over 2/3 majority. I say, do we have 200?
You. Honorable, yes,
I've not many to be followed.
Yeah, Omanya 2/3. Omanya 2/3. Yes, almost.
Almost 200. The beach, Ketchamon. And I never can say, what are the TV? I tell them,
I wouldn't make that say. Messi about hope you made that say, Palma. My young fancy, I'll come back to you in due course. Yeah, that's it. Young Famunko, the NPP youth organizer, Dr. Baumia campaign office, I'm told, yeah, press conference. In the Yabeko, Akofa Salam Mustafa, Yaba, Trajumedianiso.
In an attempt to seize their firearms. In the Tolon constituency, tensions escalated when suspected NDC supporters vandalized an MPP monitoring team's vehicle at the Nyankpala DA polling center. There is no doubt now that the NDC trained and primed their supporters to cause mayhem, and they are doing what they have been drummed into. They have a quest to challenge the security forces if the state security should act despite the peaceful nature in which these elections have taken place on 7 December and how MPP supporters have carried themselves in a peaceful manner. The NDC will then resort to accusations. The NDC is forcefully trying to take over election declaration in the regional EC offices. The obvious intention is mass provocation, which will only result in violence, disruption of activities, and a disruption of the key peace processes which we have fought so hard to protect. The NDC supporters have already gone on rampage and are looting public and private properties in Greater Accra, in Ayawaso North Assembly. Freezers were seen being carried away. In the Nadmore office, NDC supporters attacked officials who were at work. Constituency offices of the New Patriotic Party have been violated and destroyed. In Tamale, the Agric office and the school feeding warehouse have been looted. This is exactly what leads to electoral violence. The NDC are challenging and punishing and pushing security forces to respond so that they can quickly turn and accuse them of intimidation and violence on their supporters. We, the MPP, are calling for action, defending our democracy, which we have all built over the last 32 years. The MPP will not allow the NDC to undermine Ghana's hard-won democracy. It is our responsibility to protect every citizen of this great nation. And it is for all of us to protect the democracy that we have. We demand law and order. We call on the Ghana Police Service to maintain law and order at all collation centers. And some of the videos we have seen, it's heartbreaking that supporters of the NDC are vandalizing the Electoral Commission offices, and sometimes the police are watching and doing absolutely nothing. And we feel that rather the police should be stopping these people from undertaking such actions and protect the sanctity of the electoral process. We demand for electoral accountability. We urge the Electoral Commission to ensure the swift execution of its constitutional mandate without interference and intimidation. Please, get the needed documents to make you effectively carry out your mandate. It is only the Electoral Commission that the law has mandated and have the primary data to make elections. And we expect that they put their numbers together and tell us how the election is looking, and not the preserve of political parties. Our demand to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the former president, it is you who will be responsible for Ghana's peace, security, and economic stability in the few coming weeks. A chaotic country is certainly not good for him. We are therefore highly surprised and deeply disappointed that you look on while these incidents weakening the foundation of peace, security, and stability, foundation of peace, security, and economic stability to be handed to you, continue to suffer harm. We, the NPP, demand that John Dramani Mahama immediately instruct his supporters and party people to stand down and allow the EC to do its work. We caution you to note that continued propagation and aggression by the NDC supporters may lead to reactions which will jeopardize national stability. We are committed to peace. From the word go, our presidential candidate appended his signature to the Peace Pact, and his party is committed to its spirit and letter. We cannot but also defend ourselves if we come under extreme attack. Over the last period, in the last few hours, our party base and support base, we have held on because of the posturing of our presidential candidate. In the history of this country, within 12 hours of close of polls, he says that in the interest of peace and stability of this country, we have seen the trajectory of the results. Therefore, to avoid any build-up of tension, I concede defeat. It was our belief that this should have calmed the system, calmed the NDC, to ensure that the processes left thereof would all run seamlessly. Unfortunately, that's not what we are seeing. And the full-blown of the horror is right in your faces, the media of Ghana. If this is what the NDC won power for, then it looks like we have a very rough ride coming our way. It's rather unfortunate that this is what we are being subjected to. We appeal to all MPP supporters, Ghanaians, to remain calm and remember that we are one nation with a shared destiny. Elections are not a justification for violence and division. They are not. Let us all work together to maintain the peace and stability that have been the hallmark of our democracy and the benchmark of Ghana. I believe that the NDC can do better. They can do better. If we are holding the fort on our part, we believe they can also hold the fort on their part. I'm therefore calling on the leadership of the NDC to call all their people off the streets, to get them out of the coalition centers, and let the EC do their work. You already have what you want, and I do not see the necessity of the brutalities going on. Just before we came in, sadly, we received news that Madam Esla Ewusu Ekufu's house has also been vandalized in Ablekuma West. Few minutes ago, Yendi is also under attack. This cannot be the spectacle. Our member of parliament for Tolong, his house is under attack. Just for what reason? Just for what reason? That you have won elections? So the country should flame up? Should flame up? We didn't go attacking people when we won 2020 elections in 2016. We didn't do that. So why is the NDC subjecting us to this horror? We think that the media should take this up. It is uncalled for. It is gory. It is shameful. It's reprehensible. It's inconceivable. It is unthinkable and cruel, dastardly, and all the words you can find to describe it. We are committed to ensuring a very peaceful transfer of power to the NDC. If the country goes up in flame, they are the losing end. And that's why I'm urging that the one who stands to gain, President John Dramani Mahama, calls his party to order, that this country is bigger than any politician, all of us, and that the peace and security of this country should be the interest of everyone. Should be the interest of everyone. What is going on, if you push people to the wall, there might be a rebound. And that's exactly the point we don't want to get. Absolutely. Yeah. I therefore plead that let's all work together, the MPP and the NDC, to ensure that we have our democracy and the peace of the country intact. And on this note, I say thank you for coming, and that when the need arises, that we address the press again, we will. Thank you.
Edamunyana say, "Enti where Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia office a one crime, trying campaign office a one crime. Ena Salam Mustafa, National Youth Organizer of the NPP, a press conference. A far earlier, Mobeka na Fifi Kweten's issue statement calling on most supporters to remain calm and to desist from attacking officers of the state and district officers. Nyoma videos all over social media. The Salam Mustafa also ababe adene voice police for any one ejuma na or former President Mahama, now President-elect, and so the party youth no ebekasa or chemo the NPP youth would rise up and defend Ghana's democracy. Sanyome ekoswa and on in Semwa Salam Mustafa the atuja earlier so much say any honorable Katie Hammond AD and Komo ewa sokwa Adansi Asokwa constituency and in Semwa Akoso Ewoho. Ma memra back into the studio. Let me also remind you, say, Electoral Commission the Atuja Dada say at 4:30 p.m. Akasima Bedu Yedemweko EC National Coalition Center Ewon Kraiha na EC Babe announced the result of the presidential election. Unim say eba presidential na the sole returning officer for presidential election the Electoral Commission chairperson Jean Adokwei Mensa. In Toronto, the year name say obey sa address no. Now we announce the winner of the presidential election already. About parliamentary the constituency coalition returning officer no and Owutumi say obey declare. Enti ansana meba na mene abedwafui edi enkomo mamen kwa homano so ne the honorable Minister in charge of Works and House and Member of Parliament for Ofuase Ayerebi constituency, NA Osaye MP-elect for Ofuase Ayerebi. Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, akwa banapom to say
Osei Bonsu Philip Esquire. That's it. It's saying
Adom Bibia Boko. Congratulations and so.
Thank you.
Mijini say you expected this win, no?
Oh, definitely I expected this win, but Nankami Hupisu say Beba with a better performance of your party at the parliamentary level and your flag bearer at the presidential level. No Uncle Banisa and Akoma win Nakoye BBO. So yeah, they are Sedamenyami.
Yeah. But across the country, you low turnout across the country. Would they get deep into the numbers? Some analysts can say the turnout na echo against more in the NPP. Oba Ofuase Ayerebi numbers no compared to 2020. At saying.
Ofuase Ayerebi say near will be 4,000 MPP sympathizers are or Manto about a turnout of about 60%.
Okay.
In fact, over a situation room, not every 30 minutes, all your 110 polling stations, ekasa from a call center. Nipa in was a bit tuabano and ahina abba because you have a fair idea of what the trends in each polling station are, depending on your relationship with the polling station. Into about 12 o'clock, when you have 40%. Into your first meeting, me, Mr. Pia, ne Kwabena, your first meeting. Now we came to the view, say the turnout was very low, and therefore I was say to me, send the sweepers, ekwefifi mune, idromune, a foom, and for a bay in Granasi to encourage them to perform better. But already from the morning, you need a lot of feedback and Kofua, I am ready. And I think Kofua almost your moon to Aban. And whilst we started sweeping, also you a lot of feedback about the Indian consortium on Tuabano. In the end, the turnout, yes, was lower than general. In fact, many of the traditional NPP constituencies are the turnout lower than was expected. We had national picture now. We did say in the end, there was a President-elect Mahama, 6.2 million thereabouts, at least from data internally, But there was a yen, and that 6.2 near just around last time I went to be winning.
Yes.
But there was a yen, though last time they had 6.7, I did win so acted significantly. Because in a lot of your places, you call for a buofu, you call for a very unhappy into Mwamba, Pontiambeto. Nanone was a from Waba, the Ukwaya, a bit to me a faso, and the Adani Dani, Yeniama, the economy.
Is it, as a party and government, one pekes our signals, months, weeks, days before election, and I say, more supporters, ne buofu, ne likely say, apathy be setting it, you say mo ye hu bibi. Mo anya bibi sa.
There were warnings about it, but associated with the warnings, were strategies any energize a base, and go for Casano Mumbra Bontin. In fact, some of the polls are about Abontia in the weeks to the election. Say to me, turnout, it do pay 80% in your traditional areas. You bet to me, I win it. And that was true. But hidden in that, was the conversation said there's a lot of apathy in your areas. You're polling you have 4 rounds of polling from the beginning of the year. Baseline, MCB, Prohobe, B, second one, and the last one, be November. And polling literally say yes, there was a lot of potential apathy. But the only thing you could do at the time was to try and cure it by giving people a reason to vote. Unfortunately, it didn't work. But I think the important thing is that Ghana for the people of Ghana have sent us a very strong message. What we need to do is that you are more near the
Very well. Now, excuse me. Sir, Oshe, this clear message now, and across the country, I mean, especially for Eastern region, for Ashanti region, a more traditional strongholds. And as far as this election is concerned, some traditional constituencies in the Western region are there. Some have said, this is a referendum on the performance of this government led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, which you are a key member of.
Message Ghana for their mind. For example, almost say when I responded to economic challenges also the economy perform 2021 just 2024 second half and as a second quarter bana fi economy and niema baku me be started done in kakra. What the people are telling us is reason they obey me actually ma the call ekofa buy but yet to abama o se be solve.
Yeah.
It is a one solve ya. 2 minute ye de ma o mfie 9. Mfie 9 ni mono say when to me and solve when do baby na everywhere ye be twa. So that's what the people are telling us. What the people are telling us is senior you conduct your home as a political class or when in your home. Mobile prefer say you better conduct your home in a manner Brasim Saseno crown to use of Wabiti na one man we better to be a man woman there. What the people of Ghana are telling us and say so more catch and say they feel say corruption and nepotism across right. They don't want us to be arguing with them about it and rationalizing with it. They want us to tackle it. What they are telling us, they say, Osha may boss over a project, project. So I'll explain it to me, I want to mean, Mati, but then I'm disappointed. Some of the other programs, the decisions are you take here any idea. They are giving us feedback that they are not happy with it. Nti ye wo say ye say ye fam wapa. Na you require bit to me faso edwe adane. Kwaya faso eye ye ma the party. The people are telling us more primaries. No go for 5,000, 10,000 more be on to parliamentary candidate. Na me pakoto sa aba no. Me so be 5,000 be am 10,000. One mami amen. So they want you to do. In fact, they told us clearly. Say, one person you be faster delegate the primary system because so will be brave, particularly in your strongholds. And the okay, now boom. They also say firm one body the first they reorganize them.
Yeah. But again, the man who led the campaign as my flag bearer at the presidential level, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Early days yet, I presume, but you think, sir, or enough for him to be maintained as flag bearer in future? Nah?
It's a bit early for that conversation. What I can say is, enough within the time or one to market himself and his message. Over time, a presidential primaries. We had a leader of the party for literally about 20 years, and we're selecting a new leader. Over time, in party, time I try to be reconciliation, time can I feel time and also be called out to speak to the country, not doing a message, but to about questions, message, the other about questions, be pushing back. I mean, we ask I want to know what church money are there within that period. No. Dr. Bawumia worked very hard, very, very, very hard to see candidate Waye Juma on the campaign trail. He worked very, very, very hard, put up a very strong campaign. But like he said in his concession speech, and Nuran Atamana, Ejina in China, we say, what's them do to Mika? But 2 million Ghana for them, and the people of Ghana have made a choice on the other side as against on only proposals, despite the Juma Oye.
Kojo, you be a member of the 9th Parliament from the 7th of January 2025. So we share figures who were in our own strong room. The NDC enya an absolute majority. In fact, super majority. Almost 2/3 of seat in Parliament are NDC. What it means, they say the NPP minority in the 9th Parliament, no, it will be almost an insignificant minority. Say, Muni Parliament, what kind of Parliament do you envisage in the 9th Parliament, Kojo?
I honestly think that the 9th Parliament, an opportunity to juxtapose ideas for solving the problems of Ghana with these 4 ideas. You bet to me the ideas with the ideas that the NDC and as where they don't have solutions, we put those solutions on the table. In the sense, Parliament is just about quorum to start business and quorum to take decisions. Your procedures are and say, for example, what the budget bar. To me, the budget are back. Me will come to start business, quorum to take a decision, to me the buy and I'm a pass it. Mr. Speaker, I will say read your budget. If you are very required, say any debate of budget no. Debate no. So Obama 5 minutes.
Yes.
On because we 2/3 in we know 2/3 of the time. Obama majority side, Obama minority side, equal time to articulate your views.
Yes.
It is the deficit, where some of say the deficit number 4% of GDP. And we have to say, basically, a few we 4% of GDP. That's what now 2/3 now the budget but say deficit in 6% of GDP. Not just the boka kawa. 2/3 there, but Mr. Speaker, be man require mama chiremu the entire 6% no ebe ha Ghana for. Nti me make doing also be chere wadrin. In the end, who the majority in the beto. Now, two nine substance, one banner substance, Bonia, Ghana for the Kaiser Mekai. Mekai Bradley, 8th Parliament. There were, in fact, 7th Parliament. There were, I think, 160 or so.
Yeah, number 169.
Yes. Yabema Kasa, Yabemo Mwakasa. Yakasaria, Twabano. The 2 year 169 no agree on a DNA we are. Since so Bonnie Ghana for no cast now majority of fan trasa. Umbekase, I do we are now we and a Kaiser minority will say, and Faquem. And I went in a Koye, and it's Ghana for a so first one from 169 to 137. And then no matter so second one or my home. So it's not just about what numbers, no. For example, Children's Hospital, and I'll be dialysis center, and I'll be for our economy. And yes, I would to say, assembly you know, Mr. Speaker, I'm a minority in the point. I'm a minority in the questions about the 24-hour economy. Into the main if you see budget saying region by region, district by district, and into the number matter, but then your parliament here in Jumano, me were receiving the minority in Konya, a Juma was a minority here. Every the critical issue, the whole government into account. If offer alternative, it be your opportunity here. My memory, for example, 1997, about 2000. Then this war, majority was leading to majority.
Yes.
Now minority, no, Safoma, also Ajimana, the Danko Kufuado, Mr. J.H. Mensamo, Kakredi. But also, Ahobrasim, Emma Gamfu, MPP alternative propositions to a memoir near Kosono. And my MPP Baya Konopama President Kufu Jina 2000. Unya a good foundation, and Kofonia confidence were MPP. Into President Kufu had a very good run. Of course, he did a good job himself.
Okay.
But Parliament and so into numbers, there's no correct 2/3 to 1/3 thereabout. But Parliament, Bema theatre, Bema opportunity, Emma MPP views, no so about it.
Very well. Kojo, ma young fancy near Nawase. Congratulations once again. And nyame Adom na ubedun kran ya besan edin komo. Eda sepa. Fantastic. Kojo Opon Kroma Esquire, Member of Parliament of Fwasia Yerebi in the Eastern region of Ghana. Ena motenenka. Elia muhu video a yade 2 screens. So mo amoshen wo TV sono. And we share on Facebook and YouTube. Where Electoral Commission head office one cry ha into share backdrop a way to final declaration. And as and when Jane Adokwe means and the team APA betna se pepepe ya de mobeko na ya kofa final declaration no. And then but let me also remind you, say, former President John Dramani Mahama, now President-elect of the Republic of Ghana, and also the party the communication about Abontin say at 7 p.m. pepepe obey the first address to the nation after his emphatic victory in the 2024 presidential elections. And also you have the live Kokromoti Power, your election headquarters. So yes, Intima Yemra Doc and a lawyer. Wait there quickly while we wait for Jane Adokwe Mensa lawyer. My main phone shall say.
It's fine. I think the Quadradia in Ukraine, what I couldn't know in America. There's one thing I like about Minian, and it's about how sometimes the way he communicates. You can read in between the lines. What you to say, and send me a near better from Yekan, the Cotton Adom from Yekan, Adom TV, because what can I say? Not gonna only be citing corruption.
Yes.
Be citing nepotism.
Yes.
Be citing way, and someone there post on Yekan. Unfortunately, on no way back for him, but it's back for some drive. On no couldn't have, gotten that the government onto the toes. But some can other colleagues at me tea. And no more bra proper be a safata, be a common. But one tea, but it's an only couple, and then they do be more doing. I read but one day, what you Kafra, hold the Miamiano. But you say I don't know. From when the change, I have but natural watch. I didn't have an idea that I been. I can afford I can. But you see, it points to the fact what could be about paying delegates. Many some security officials has been designed during that. I mean, after the elections, Brand, trying to say we put two things together at the collation center. And it was a concern I raised, sir. The all can say, we look at as a Mamiska, now, delegates can't. I met a guy at Bosso. I mean, meeting but he said, what do you call it?
Voter ID card.
Voter ID card.
Yeah.
I was a check. No, this not the voter ID card. I said, Obi, as an hell. I was saying, Autumn, not supposed to say no, the kitchen, Autumn. So, your person got to a body, you have to pay him. But why do you think they are saying this? Said, okay, we have seen instances that other, let me say, quality politicians,
yes,
will distribute fridges, televisions, name them. Can I be my car? Jenna Kotoba, because he or she want to go to Parliament. Parliament is not crazy. It's one day we are there. Obi, Adiana was her name. And so people Bob Siam Kabiabi. I Kabiabi.
Or the journal.
Dog is on the journal. What I say? I don't know. And anyone how they do this, and because unfortunately for you, model delegates in Canada also about 5 to 5 in Obi. Not 5, no, you've been in the man. Obin and the mammy and their delegates, and I was a politician. One more will be out 2,000, one family, no, Omnia saying
6,000. Fridge.
Now, Obi said the fridge, no, I do not know the call. Now, maybe it's me fear the majority, and it's a way you do it with the as much as we do, yes, about you. So you see this is happening. And the all can, and no force you're going to be seeing, my coming from the out there, so you're so concentrated on any other things. The point back on the say, at the end before doing say, woman, I am supporters. How true is that?
So we share 2020.
No.
That's at least the easiest way you can describe on the face of the record.
No. How many supporters do we the political parties have in this country? You're certified members. NPP and this, we both don't have more than 5 million supporters.
Sure.
It is anybody says 6 million. At Obama 2020. Your mama has 6 million, Akufo-Addo has 6 million.
Yes.
6.2
John Mahama, 6.7 Nanado.
Oh, that was 6.5.
That was 2020.
Yeah. 2020 na making. So na gap, no difference there 500,000.
Okay, yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So 6.7 and 6.2 something.
Yes.
Okay, that's right. Into what if you more? That's what 5 million. That's a 5 million in Ampo to Obama. It means that unya 1.2, 1.5 be almost supporters. Be a bibinti and a moment of Badima. So I don't buy the argument to say, Omo Ansobana Mountain and your supporters has to come to and a moment. It's not true. Some are sympathizers, some are floating voters who are, they disagree or they are annoyed about and number of India over now. We are no Munaka, only calling to programs, shows.
But how come those floating voters, aren't Tuama John Mahama?
No, there are people who say about coming to be. Yes, sir. Okay, but there are people who will tell us about me to be. It's on one number to my non to my B, on to be Mukra, what can to be. And there are those that who also get angry, say, who before him into Matuatia. Or Ebian, with a nation, with the young Ottoman. So, 3 categories. So what I say, it is not true, sir. One more amateur about one no, you can say before I say about an amateur. It's not an what I say. Anybody tomorrow 20, you can say 20 now, who if you mounts a gap with us, and you know, before tomorrow. It's not, it's also
because official result, presidential, Ashanti region there. Ashanti region. 2024,
okay.
Yeah, and ready. Mahamudu Baumia,
yes,
in 1,366,800. 1 million
against the 920.
Now the year 2020, now almost 1.7 million.
So let's say 1.7 million.
Yes. It weigh 1,366,800,000.
So let's say about 350,000 people. And
yes, almost 400,000.
Yeah.
And John Mahama, sorry, 697,076. Yes. That's roughly the same vote in 2020. When a man a percentage of on the declaration form, the percentages in count.
Okay, we quote from the declaration
form. Yeah, the declaration form. Yes, okay. Percentages in count. Into Unya 697,000. Good. And Baumianya 1.36. Into on the face of it, this if the votes Muhammad got here almost the same as Unya in 2020, then you can say NPP 4 now
equivalent to.
It is
equivalent.
It is actually equivalent, okay. Yes, to the Onya in 2020. Means MPP for now met Waba.
You see, I want to
states. Registered voters.
Yes.
18 million.
18 million.
That's the whole Ghana.
4,159.
Yes.
As at 2020, and so now you were saying.
Not registered voters, 18
million.
And now 17 million.
17. So you've got 1 million more.
Yes.
Fine.
Now, you see we say to show something.
Very well.
Okay. Now, what can be about say MPP and NDC?
I mean, your support base, no?
Your support
as membership base, yeah.
Exactly. The calculation, the politician be me and but I see it reflecting this time again, as in 2020.
Okay.
Obi, so person who the share of parties now. You go back MPP, you go back NDC, then the other political parties and independent candidates. From that angle, there were 3 different
pillars.
Yes.
Absentee voters they are driven by apathy. So to the one become 9. And then you were rejected ballots.
Yes.
What the become
elections?
Now I had 5 different groups.
Yes.
Okay. Which means that your calculation now, you need to know the percentage of rejected ballots, which comes from turnout. Absentee voting, who didn't turn out at all. And also calculation of how big figure no. Then you can now do percentages to determine MPP rare vote. That's what not calculated on your friends the turnout, but calculated on registered voters. The same applies to NDC and the same applies to other political parties and independent candidates. We yes are ubetimi any padodoa percentage share that to ma NDC pa na behu percentage to ma MPP pa. If you don't do that calculation, let's say we based on turnout, you've made a very big mistake.
Okay.
It is a percentage where 40.88 and 57.17. You see, it wouldn't give you the actual share of the 2 major political parties, and that is a fact. That's what mathematics here. Yeah, now mostly no say, oh yeah, now the level of apathy and where it is coming from. Constituencies in free move and as for no, we percentage where we are. Now, figures be about
percentages in
yes. We yes are the anywhere. Now, what they call cross-check constituency by constituency. Then you see, say our constituency way, because even in the MPP stronghold, you still have NDC
there,
there. So, it will say yes, other calculations now. Then you'll be able to derive all these secrets. So what I say, and I agree with lawyer say it is also not so. You say Obeka say, me stronghold. It will be stronghold for Anthony out NDC for winning. All right, but this is it. The assumptions in a woman. What for baby to say subin? which probably recorded 82% in 2020. This time around, we're about 62%. So what you say? It means to say, in a stronghold, there was a strong element of apathy. Yes, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you check previous votes. And you compare two parties in India. Now you see that ABA, to say the year media here. We check here consistency in certain numbers from NDC. I appreciate you, I appreciate you, I appreciate you, but enter a certain threshold. But MPP DNA attract and bro the lowest level also. Then you get to know say apathy affected.
Affected, okay.
So what you say. Okay. But if Abase, even NDC so recorded a decrease within that same constituency, then it means almost apathy affected more. But to appreciate it then apathy affected. Those are the assumptions we can do.
And I think that's what the data is showing.
If I can ask a question now, from that comparative analysis did you see NDC appreciating or you saw NDC decreasing?
No, so far even the total national.
I mean, just use maybe for instance one constituency that
the constituency, yes. Okay.
I don't have Ashanti region constituencies now.
Okay.
Now.
Ashanti region constituencies now yeah. You would see a slight increase in the NDC votes.
Exactly.
And a decrease in the MPP votes.
Because automatically, elections.
Yes.
I remember I said it on several occasions. In fact, even to your own brother Omani. Sorry.
Adom TV.
Adom TV, you said. NDC will automatically appreciate it in Ashanti region. Because if you take, for instance, 2012, 2008, Nanado had 72% in Ashanti region. 2012, he had 70. You check here, the 72% in a year, and come baby, I told you Muhammad.
Yes.
In 2012.
So that's
making him increase.
Yes. So that's where there's a movement swing. Okay. So the swing favored the opposition.
Exactly.
And you see, swing is also another form of apathy.
Oh, of course, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you see, on that swing, in America, it's not always the case that people that comprise of that swing are your core supporters who refuse to vote for you.
No, so
there can be people who also don't really act. I mean, they move based on what is happening.
No, sir.
What I say?
Who define the categories of voters that we have?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So it means to say somebody may sympathize with
you,
but may not be a card bearer.
Of course.
In my PhD thesis, one of the guidelines are may they sample, I say you should be a core party member.
Which is the card bearing person?
Yes.
No.
It's a card bearing member, no? Yeah. Maybe I stronghold and me question. Now, the second thing is you should if you demonstrate swing voting tendencies, meaning you voted for any political party before. So what I say. So
that's a
exactly. Because one of my research questions was to determine swing voting influence. All right. Then the next thing was that you probably might have voted more than once. If it is your first time, you are not part of my sample. Okay. And the reason is that you should have experience in voting. And the questions that I'm asking you, you should be able to have experience to give me the accurate answers.
Answer that you deserve, yeah.
So what I said. So based on that, the responses that came, and I keep telling everybody, say, oh look, my PhD thesis is as relevant as today's election. Right. Because all the issues that they mentioned, and so we share, your friend is a different cohort of voters, and you will see, say, we'll be in crack card.
Yes.
We'll be crack card. We'll be crack there. Look, we'll be crack more than 2 cards. Or when this there, or when PP there, or your friend is saying,
all the other political parties.
Will be irrelevant. So, and such people, you should sometimes be wary of them. Because we are buying. Obeka chose what tomorrow. So cross one to one.
Exactly.
That argument hold. So Obi, the point still remains to say the answers to some of these figures we still must scrutinize. You see, and then be able to understand, because you see, so we share constituency by constituency, 2016, 2012. Few of them, and a year below 60%.
Okay.
Few of them, majority range between 70-80%. This time round, what we are seeing...
Majority, no, 50 and below.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and even national, I was doing some calculation. And what I've seen with even the unconfirmed report is 61%.
For national.
So if it is confirmed, then that means it's a lot more people didn't turn
out to vote.
It may fast have value. Now the cross-check NDC strongholds, strong constituencies, MPP strongholds, strong constituencies. Then it is telling me something.
Okay. Mamin Kaimu Amoshe say on your screen, different videos, of course. Bakon the next one Electoral Commission one office one cry her final declaration and the share name says Jin men signing the team now the declaration no aba o share the wo mienu na was na Bakon honorable Kwabena Minta Akando unim say Alexander Ampabe, Deputy Finance Minister, contesting with Joaboso constituency.
Oh, now what doesn't know Deputy Finance Minister? Who is that?
Alex Ampabe, Deputy Finance Minister. I see. Inti Oko contested Kwabena Minta Akando, the Deputy Finance Minister, na kwaku Diego Poto.
I said I am there. Say no. Opposition is an
in the Akando, you have 52.5% of the valid vote, and a Deputy Finance Minister, you have 47.3%.
Many Aboni Akando. My memory is election day, my friend. None of one I briefly.
In the Osha Western North Regional, Western North Region in total, there were 9 constituencies. Na NPP ekra bibiani anwaso bekwai omukra sehwe so and omukra sehwe akontombra 4. Yes that be
no okay so you okay first one about 2 names that's one okay
into 3 na NPP kra going into this election.
Aka one
and as you see aka one in fact 3 na no omukra no malusu no nyina and no mawini swamandade so e de abehye
e won nice no alone no nyame adman nice for
enti by shocking I mean bibiani anwaso bekwai time na eye Western region in total no na ohwe esro ha Western North area na bibiani anwaso bekwai pe enana omuwini na bibiani anwaso bekwai pe na omuwini. And it was said, because of its proximity to Kumasi, and now a holiday or movie.
Okay, yeah. I want to bank Masa.
Bibiani Bank.
And Carry Road, no.
Sure, Carry Road. In 2016, and now Omobe J. Seshioso. And a free Beji Seshioso. And Tete. And so a winnie at Seshia Contombra. And we maintain here in 2020. And it was expected so we maintain this at 3, no?
But so
and 2024.
There something like as a sympathy.
But already sign maintaining.
Because we know
papa.
Not only that, only Evans aid, right? Evans aid.
Yeah.
And then finally games. I think
2016 no winning. Good. And no maintaining the 2020.
Yes. And
NDC yes. In the NDC asan no asan omo akontombra. And na afi the MPP nzu winning the bibiani anyanso be kwai no. Omo asan from and na MPP etimi winning. To share map na the Western North green no 8. Yeah. And a blue 1. And
all green 11.
Swaman. That yes, no. And the final file, the EC Regional Coalition Center, Greater Accra, also the Ena Omuguswa, and also Moye and Totre, already. The Okaikwei Central is done. They say Aka Ablekuma North, and then also Aka 2. Ablekumanov and Dome Kwabenya. Enti, as and when EC ebe ready with the final declaration of the presidential results, no, yebeko hona yako akwa akofa ne yahwe se de nioma ebesi akoba interesting stuff. But let me say, is there a constituency be across Ghana? And this winning where they wow and this ultimate transfer say, hey, where the men suda.
Oh, I mean, yes, I mean I have to be honest. A place like your friend is saying, are you on December? I would say East, right?
That's what, yeah.
Even though Sana minimum say you nipa born home them, now Koyo was very active over there.
Yeah.
Na and when we are at from Hono, some videos and I'm sharing that day. Now, mommy feeling say I say I'm running a couple of Duga how I come. Aha, and the honor the name. To be honest with you, I'm not too sure.
Yes.
You would imagine. I mean, now I buy mommy who gab and I'm and your mammy, no, the man comes again. You would not believe it. But I know, and I think I shan't read in the end. So
3 new ones number winning.
3 no, a movie I'm surprised, but they're not mentioned any security was Katie one.
Okay.
It's a honest environment, and I did some double checks.
Yeah.
Now, I'm person who said we are social media, they are giving me who neke. But I'm going video and I asked on board number 2 to them in the next and I did a canana yards.
And the 3 no, yeah, Katie Ho, Acrofum.
No, Acrofum, I knew to come.
Oh, sir.
Yes, I knew Acrofum would come.
Okay. And I dance Acrofum and now Obuasi East.
Okay. So what?
It's interesting, you know. All the 3 new seats are moje ka hu nyina wa dance enclave.
Dance enclave.
Yeah,
because the answers are fun one be
yeah. But Obi say one thing NDC did right. And which I think that it shouldn't omanya power no, it shouldn't influence them. Consistency. The candidates now Omo Ewini Washantere. These are candidates who have been running for
exactly. And still they maintain them. Exactly. Yeah. It's easy to maintain candidate in opponent stronghold.
Yeah. So now at least it has taught them a lesson that it pays.
Yeah.
Now what Benya power? Other people who didn't even support, they say, we're not sure. Adansi, KTM, Adansi, Adansi Asukwa. Obi oha anya say we ni sika obetimi dia ye bibi o obetimi dia.
But official opportunity sika egu nti.
Official opportunity sika egu KTM is a strong candidate, main challenge no. Obi akwa akwaje. Afi na
next primaries no mu nyina show up.
No more show up. Afi na party ni beka say oh we cry important change. So what you say? Afi no bi afa back door aba be share party ni. Wakwa ben mentor bi.
Yeah.
Na mentor no push say oh me yankwa ji sa city no. Uti anye yi a ebe te say de nu a asi no.
Yeah.
Na akwa affect you. So you see these are all lessons you should learn.
True.
I believe in the parties investing in people.
Of course. It's one thing that I support so much.
Yes. That thing you should invest in them. It is also said edipa no akọ win seat now no or deformity bia. The question is how popular is he with the people? If he is popular and he can maintain the seat for you, invest in that person, groom the person, develop the person, maninya all the abilities and capabilities. So what I say, let me annex the seat for a long time.
I agree with you.
I think it's a fair point.
Your point is very.
It's a fair point because for you to go out there and win a seat in your opponent's extreme stronghold, then you have to show faith. With Nipa,
you know, at some point, the news was that Edra MBBAG.
Yes.
And I was like, Edra, I know the MVP means money you. Because by the MVP vote, let me, I mean, woman, the Secretary was a
portion.
I know enough police stations than exactly.
Settlers, no, a Dawson, a saying.
I'm Secretary was. You know, when I heard the news, I was, is this thing really true? What this, the Cat 2020 said the same thing, but the same thing, only Yaji a Muntaka. No, I think that was 2016 rather. Yaji as once Yaji dragons. There's 2 consequences easy. So because what Japan, what Jeffrey this in somebody. Because as once for instance, the number of police stations are yet typical as no. I do also think there's no more police stations leading to
Asante Mampong.
Exactly. In the news, anyway, but you know, but I'll be one quick wrong. I think I disagree with Honorable the Professor.
Okay.
On some of the things that he raised. Well, he made a point that he doesn't believe that Adom mismanaged or Adom mismanaged the economy. You see, I still find it very difficult that you can hear such comments from people based on this decision of Ghanaians. And you know, Kenyans were complaining about certain basic things which your government was doing and they kept on doing. Number one, your debt for president.
Answer now, I'll go into the details.
Very well.
I was saying, make a break about CCR, before we go to the EC, National Coalition Center, maybe a final declaration. So, I don't know, Daniel Huabateu, you buy a 12 million. So, stay with us.